Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are almost done with The Merry Wives of Windsor. We are in Act 5, Scene 1 today, and we get to hear from Falstaff, who, if you remember, was made an idiot out of by Mistresses Ford and Page. He went over to Mistress Ford's house and to try to woo her, to try to get her money, but they were onto him, so they snuck him out in a basket, and then they dressed him up as a woman, snuck him out, and Mr. Ford, meantime, was chatting with Falstaff under the guise of being Mr. Broom / Mr. Brooke, depending on which version of the play you're reading. And so he was getting reports from Falstaff and was very much not trusting his wife until his wife and Mistress Page said, haha, this is a joke that we've been playing and isn't it funny? And hey, do you guys want to be in on one last joke against Falstaff? And Misters Ford and Page were like, yeah, we're totally in on it. So they have hatched a plan to get Falstaff to this oak tree dressed up like this hunter named Hearn, dressed up like this hunter who wears horns and like does bad things around this oak tree, and they need to get him there. So Mistress quickly has gone with a letter to find Falstaff, inviting him to this tree. It took her a little bit of convincing in the scene the other day to get him to go because, you know, fool me once, fool me twice, don't let me be fooled a third time. But Falstaff is now on board. He doesn't know he's going to be fooled a third time, but he's on board to try a third time with Mistress Ford to try to woo her. Also, there's another plot going on with Anne Page, who is the daughter of Mr. and Mistress Page, where everybody wants to marry her, and she kind of wants to marry Fenton. So Fenton has given the host of the Garter Inn some money to arrange for a priest to be at the church. He's going to take Anne Page while this whole thing is going on with Falstaff. He's going to take her to the church to get married. Dr. Caius is supposed to take Anne Page, who's going to be dressed mostly in white but with a green robe and some ribbons in her hair. He's supposed to take her over here to get married, whereas Slender thinks that Anne Page is going to be dressed all in white and he's supposed to take her to Eton to get married. So anyway, all of that is going on. The top of Act 5, Scene 1, we've got Falstaff and Mistress Quickly, and she's like, okay, and you're going to be there, and I'll see what I can do about helping you get the right costume together, all that sort of thing, and she heads off. And then Master Broom / Master Brooke / Mr. Ford comes in to talk to Falstaff because he was supposed to get like a report on how the second attempt at wooing Mistress Ford went. And at this point, I think Mr. Ford is just enjoying the fact, like he trusts Mrs. Ford now, but I think that he wants to hear it from Falstaff's perspective, like just for fun. So he's shown up and he's like, so how did it go? And Falstaff says, I went to her, Master Broom, as you see, like a poor old man. But I came from her, Master Broom, like a poor old woman. That same knave, Ford, her husband, hath the finest mad devil of jealousy in him, Master Broom, that ever governed frenzy. I will tell you, he beat me grievously in the shape of a woman. For in the shape of a man, Master Broom, I fear not Goliath with a weaver's beam, because I know also life is a shuttle. I am in haste. Go along with me. I'll tell you all, Master Broom. Since I plucked geese, played truant, and whipped top, I knew not what 'twas to be beaten till lately. Follow me. I'll tell you strange things of this knave Ford, on whom tonight I will be revenged, and I will deliver his wife into your hand. Follow. Strange things in hand, Mr. Broom. Follow. So he's just given a real quick recap here of the fact that he went to woo Mistress Ford dressed as himself, but he was kicked out dressed as a woman, but that also that Mr. Ford beat him up while he was dressed as a woman, and he was not used to being beaten, but he's like, I have somewhere that I have to be, so come with me, like walk with me as I go to this thing that I have to go to, and I'm finally going to get revenge on Mr. Ford, and I'm going to sleep with his wife, and then you can have her, and everything will be great. And they leave, and that's the end of the scene. So it's just a real quick one where we get to see what happened from Falstaff's point of view and get one last look at Master Broom, who is now with Falstaff on their way to the oak tree. So fun stuff. We've got like 2 more days, I think, after this. So we get to see how all of it plays out. What happens at the tree? Who does Anne Page actually marry? We're almost to the point where we have answers to that. And I will see you tomorrow as we get towards the end. See you then.